we're targeting a slightly different market, I would say, in that, I'm implementing Bitcoin privacy things onto Stack Wallet, such as PayNyms, Whirlpool. And let me say, guys, let me be the first to say that working on Bitcoin privacy things has only renewed my love for Monero. Because as I am working on these things, as I'm implementing this stuff, I'm like, this stuff sucks really bad. Like, I can't speak to the privacy guarantees, only to the user experience, right? But like, there's so many things you have to keep in mind. You don't just need the Whirlpool for the mixing. You need post-mix tools to make sure you don't accidentally recombine certain outputs. For PayNyms, which is like stealth addresses, but much, much worse. Because, you can't reuse Bitcoin addresses privately. So they invented something called PayNyms that kind of lets you reuse things privately, but you're not supposed to send the change output. You're supposed to send, in order to use it, you first have to send a tiny transaction to the person you're trying to use it with that establishes a mini connection between you and them. Then you can send indefinite transactions to their address, but you can't spend certain change outputs that come back to you. It is a nightmare. Like, it is a horrendous nightmare. Coin control is a must in Bitcoin because you will just screw yourself over by doing like the slightest thing wrong. You will screw over your privacy. So as I have been working on implementing this stuff into Bitcoin, I'm just like, there's no way. There is 0% chance, even if I make the UX as good as I could ever possibly make it, the best it will ever be, there is 0% chance you're getting grandma to use this. You're getting your parents to use this. Even a relatively tech savvy person is just not going to use this on the day-to-day, right? It's bad. It's really bad. And as I have been working on these things, I'm just like, man, with Monero, you just send. You just send and you just receive and it just works. And you don't have to do anything. And I can have my grandma send Monero or my parents or my whatever. And it just works, man. Like, I don't have to do any of this mixing, or I don't have to do any of these post mixing, or I don't have to do any of these things. It's so horrendous. The Bitcoin privacy community is a enthusiastic bunch, I guess is the way to put it. They're very supportive of people who are like, oh, that's cool that you're doing these things. So like, for example, Samurai Wallet is the biggest one for those of you who have heard of it. They didn't invent BIP47, which is kind of that payment code, PayNyms resent to the address multiple times thing, but they did make the most popular implementation of it, but it was only on Android. So we put out the first one that's ever come on iOS, and still currently the only one on iOS. And so people were like, oh, yay, Stack Wallet. I got a lot of street cred for that. And I'm in several of their rooms, and they like me, and they like Stack Wallet and all these kinds of things. But like, man, dude, like, we spend so much time. We spend so much time in the design room going over iteration after iteration after iteration of this Bitcoin privacy stuff, because it's just like, this is not good enough. And the stuff we put out, I'm proud of it. Like, if you go to our PayNym implementation in Stack Wallet, it's good. I'm really proud of what we were able to do. But like, it took a lot of time to get there, and it renewed my love for Monero simplicity. You just send, and it just works.